Hi, and welcome back. My name is Ash, and this is week 12 on my current medication, Zepbound. And it's been a week. But first, I have my new sparkling water flavor that I wanted to try, and we're going to try it together. Okay, it's Waterloo, and the flavor is root beer float. Can you see it? Whoa, it's close. I mean, obviously, it's sparkling water, so it tastes like a watered down sparkling water root beer float, but it definitely tastes like root beer floaty. I wonder how they get that root beer float flavor because there's carbonated water, natural flavors. I'm sure there's some kind of like dropping of things together to make that happen. But surprised that that tastes decent enough. But anyway, back to how things are going week 12. I mean, week 12, that's a big milestone, which means it's been about 3 months on this medicine. Can you believe that? Because I cannot. I cannot believe it's been 3 months. And I've been doing this consistently for 3 months, like posting something and talking about it. That's definitely an achievement for sure. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I just kind of go over how this week has been. So I can tell you right now, technically this wasn't my best week in terms of staying on track and things like that and make sure I'm eating the things I'm supposed to be eating. And we get into that a little bit, like kind of a rough week, but there were reasons why it was a rough week and I still made it through the end of the week and it wasn't all bad. It just was a difficult week. But basically, I haven't really been staying on track in terms of eating. I would say this week I probably consumed less. And that was because a lot of my week was thrown off track. I had a home improvement project, which really it was two home improvement projects that we worked on our house, but this one particular took me through the majority of the weekdays, so it did throw off my routine. I started the week pretty strong. I did work out, I consumed my X amount of protein I needed to eat. Like I was doing really good. But then as the week kind of got further in and I got further into my home improvement project, it's just like the routine fell off. And so I had spent most of my time after work doing this project. So breakfast would be good, lunch would be good, water would be good that period of time. But then right after work, because I jumped into this project, I was not on track with eating and exercising at all. I mean, the good news is that the home improvement project was very physical, so I did get exercise and movement, just kind of in a different way. It was just in a very practical way. I got in movement. Now the food just it didn't go the way that I wanted to, and it's not so much that I ate bad because I still consumed. I focused on doing things that like had some kind of protein and veggies. I just didn't really consume enough because by the time I had got done with my project, it was hours into the evening. And it wasn't like I was going to eat a decent amount of food right before I went to sleep. I just wasn't going to do that. And I'd done that previously on medicine and I did not feel good. So I told myself, like, I want to make sure I have a decent window of time between when I eat my last meal and when I sleep. I just didn't feel good. But I've done that before the medicine and it was perfectly fine. But this time it was like, no, 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 no. So when I'm eating toward the end of the day, it's kind of like the, the smallest amount of food that I can feel comfortable consuming without it causing me issues in my sleep, just because of the medicine and what it does with digestion. So there, things kind of fell, like I didn't walk, I didn't strength train, but like I did walk up and down and backward forward doing the home improvement project throughout my house. And I did lift bricks. You know what I'm saying? Like I did things. I just didn't do them in a normal workout sense. I just did them from a practical sense because I had a project I had to finish. And we power washed the house that weekend. So my routine was like really thrown off because we were just really focused on getting this thing done and it took the majority of the day to do. So there I didn't do so well, but that's okay. At this point, I knew there was going to be a week where things are kind of thrown off, and I have to acknowledge that and be honest about it, but also remind myself like I still made an effort to focus on the things I needed to eat that had protein, maybe to have vegetables, even though I didn't eat as much, which is something that I have to remind myself is not always good, especially if I'm spending hours in the evening working on this project, sweating, moving around a lot, lifting things, like a bag of sand to do this thing and then constantly pushing the sand into things. Like that's very physical labor that like hardscapers do, and I'm just like trying to figure it out because I'm just this homeowner who's like, well, I'm not paying X amount of money for somebody to come do this. I'm gonna have to figure this out. It was just like very physically, I don't know what the word for it is, just very physically demanding. So I still did something, I just didn't do it the way I would have, in a sense of like being a little bit more mindful. So there. And you know, my knee hurts because I hit my knee, so, and it hurts still this week, so that's fine. But that's okay. You know, the last week was just something I had went through, and I know now, like, it's gonna happen. Things throw you off track. It wasn't for naught either, because I needed to get this project done because I was trying to improve my like outdoor patio area, and there's like something I watched enough YouTube videos to tell me that that was the thing that I need to do to fix it. So hopefully it worked out, but if it doesn't, then I'm sure I'll try something else. Home ownership, man, it's great. But anyway, those were kind of the things that I kind of had issues with. It was just because this project that kind of encompassed a lot, but it's done, and I'm happy because it's supposed to be very warm the next week. So I'm hoping that, you know, we'll see how it lasts through the warmness and the rain and the summer. But I'm glad now I've done this thing and I can get back on track. But I just have to be honest and say, like, I just didn't have a good week, but it was better than nothing, to be honest. That's just it. Those are the main things that I struggled with. But since we're done with that, let's get into my numbers. A few weeks ago, so I think that was week 10, I weighed in at 195. And week 12, when I weighed myself, I was 191. So it seems like there's about a total loss of 4 pounds in the 2 week span, which I think is well on par with that 2 pounds a week that people say they on average supposed to lose, that 1 to 2 pounds a week. I think I've been within that range. I think this is the week that I've been like 2 pounds, like between week 10 and week 12, 2 pounds each. That is very surprising. And since I'm weighing myself every day, that is surprising because the last week I kind of like was only like down like 1. So that makes me feel like, and I didn't document that because I'm only documenting every other week, but that I use the Yamato app and it tells me that I need to weigh myself every day. So I weigh myself most days, and I don't weigh myself on weekends. So I'm like doing things. I'm enjoying my weekend. But yeah, it's just interesting. It's just interesting how weight goes like up and down and up and down, and then all of a sudden down. And it's not predictable at all. At least not what I can see. And I'm pretty happy about that. In total, was that like 4 weeks total? It's about 7 pounds over the span of the period of time. Looks like I'm at a total loss of 21 pounds in 12 weeks, which I think is pretty good. I think that would make my weekly average about 1.76, something like that, per week. And that's on par or pretty close to the 2 pounds per week they say you should lose in terms of like healthy weight loss. It's not too slow, or it's not too slow. It's not too fast. It's a decent, steady pace. So I can be happy about that. Plus, it's way better than my average I had previously when I lost my weight. What was that, 2024, I believe? It was somewhere between 24 and 2025. I lost about 40-ish pounds. I gained about 10 back, but my average for that weekly was way less. I think per month, my monthly average was about 3 pounds, but probably my weekly average at less than a pound per week or something like that. Maybe like, I don't know, 0.9 or something like that. I would do math. Anyway, this is still more than I would normally lose without the aid of the medicine. So I'm pretty happy about that. Measurements, the measurements stayed pretty close to the same. Okay, so it looks like my waist is about 32. I think I was like a little bit over 32 last time, so it's at 32 now. So not a big change, but still a little bit of a reduction. So there's a change there. Okay, and looking at my hip measurement, it looks like it is still close to 44, maybe a teensy bit under, but I would say still around 44. And I think it was a tiny bit above 44 last time. So it has changed, but only slightly. That could be a number of things. All right, it looks like my bust measurement stayed about the same at around like 35 and a half-ish inches. So it's roughly about the same. So that's pretty much where it is. And that's fine. I know measurements tend to fluctuate. And like I said, it was a very like physically demanding week. And I wasn't on top of all the things I need to be on top of. So that's okay. You know, it happens. I still lost but still kind of a rough week in general for me, I would say, in terms of keeping in track with my habits, just because there was this thing that appeared that I wanted to try to do to fix with my house, and it took over everything. Sometimes that happens. This is really hitting the spot. Yeah. Oh, and I have my Lego flowers here. This is the wildflower bouquet. Look at how fun that is. I'm gonna change it out every now and then so we can kind of like see different ones. They're 21 pounds in 3 months. I mean, if I stay on this track, that means that I would probably reach my goal somewhere in October, November, if my math serves me right. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but it would be nice if it would be on a schedule like that. And I've never had weight loss where it's on some type of schedule where it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna lose this and it's gonna happen at this time. That has never happened. It has been it's very much been doing its own thing, and I'm just here to be around it. That's basically what weight loss has felt like to me. It's been a kind of an odd 3 months. When I think back to the first week and how, things were just kind of like, oh, this is the thing, and I'm happening, and I'm doing okay, and da 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 da. Versus now, it's a pretty decent change, I would say. At least I do feel it. Things fit differently for sure. I don't know if I would say there's been a huge change in terms of like anybody noticing anything, which is fine. I mean, like, what in my household, like my wife, she notices because she's around me all the time and she's gonna notice those changes. But like outside, not very much, no. But I still think I'm doing pretty good. I think the last couple of videos I tried on some pants or shorts and they look different, and we've tried on different clothes, and you can tell from the clothes it's changed even before I've reached 21 pounds. I would say this is a pretty good pace. I mean, I think there's always the desire to speed things up, but in reality, this is perfectly fine, and there's truly no rush because I'm not like in dire medical straits, but I'm just like in a sense where I'm like, yeah, I am doing this thing to kind of improve my overall health, and just affect some markers down, like have a downward trend in some of the markers, which would be good. This crazy that it's been 3 months, but I'm ready. I'm ready for the rest of the time to go, but not maybe like not in time wise. Like I do wish I could like quit like go into the future and then I'll be done and I've weighed this amount and it would be great. But and my cholesterol will be better and my blood pressure will be better, everything will be better. But that's not how time works. So I'm just stuck going through time, which is good because you don't want to go too fast. Sometimes you want to go at a decent pace. But enough about me. Now I'm just babbling. I'm just babbling now. But anyway, 3 months down, more months to go. Thanks for watching. If you like it here, subscribe, give me a like, and you have a good week, and we'll speak later. Bye.